Welcome everyone to the Tech Chitchat show. If you're new here, my name is Ken. You can find me on Northern Viking Everyday and Northern Viking Explorer on YouTube. I'm here with my co-host Steven, 8-Bit Warrior on Twitter, and we've got Andrew, Yoshi OST on Twitch. He is joining us, and we haven't been on in a while.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a while. How are you doing, Steven?
You know, I am doing good. I'm excited to be back. It's been a little bit of work to get up and running, but we're here. We're here. So
I see you're hiding behind a star.
Temporarily I got the star. We just got so quick and running that we're just still getting things sorted. Yeah, now you'll get the star, Ken.
No, I get the star. I'm gonna put you behind the star again for now.
We'll hope to get rid of it by like next week or something. But for today, we're just up and running, and we have ourselves a new friend down below as well.
Oh, howdy.
That way, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Andrew.
I'm Chatter, so I really enjoy hanging out and talking about all the tech. So here I am.
So you have been a longtime commenter.
Yep.
On this channel, and like from the very beginning. So now you're on with us.
That's right.
And it's been almost 2 years since we streamed last. So
and now we're back.
I'm glad you're still with us.
Yeah.
Me too.
Do you have your coffee, guys?
I get hot chocolate here.
Hot chocolate? Okay, that's good.
That's
that's probably a lot better.
Got my friend's cup here.
Yes, I got coffee.
You know what I have is a Keurig that I'm not sure how it's going to taste because I robbed it from the last hotel room we were in. So it's hotel coffee.
From which country?
From a different country.
From a different country? You want an unnamed country.
Unnamed country. So, yes. But it's not as good as the Americano I had about an hour ago. We'll just put it that way. So yeah, we're up and running and talking about tech. If you haven't joined us before, this is just kind of a coffee time where we talk about tech and just random things. We keep it lighthearted, and it's more of a tech hangout. So if you're watching, leave a comment where you're from in the comment section. We like to incorporate your comments into the show, and then just talk about random tech stuff that's going on. So it's fun. We just enjoy it. Come hang out with us. And currently we are streaming today on... Where are we streaming? We are streaming on YouTube and Twitch, not Facebook this week. So, and we've got...
Cameron! Welcome aboard. It's good to see you this morning.
Yes, welcome. Coffeeless, but I shall be very soon.
Let's go.
So, have either of you met Cameron before?
Yes, I know Cameron.
Okay.
Yes. I'm so excited he's here. Welcome aboard. Good morning.
Okay, do I know Cameron?
No. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us, Cameron. We appreciate it. And we've got Yoshi. Test. I think you're testing this, so it works. Thanks for the comment. All right, shall we dive into our first topic?
Sure, let's go.
The Switch 2. It's a roundup.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about this because we're a little bit late. This isn't at this point. The news article places have talked about it, but we haven't yet. And I thought I want to talk about it. There's some exciting stuff about it. So
there is. So I'm going to add this in here, and maybe I'll remove this banner so we can see it a little bit better. So the Switch 2 available on June the 5th, or is that May the 6th? June the 5th, 2025.
Yeah.
It looks fancy dancy.
Yeah, it looks very similar at first to the original Switch, but there's some changes that are nice, and I think Nintendo's done a tasteful job with what they've added as new stuff while not being too different from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm still struggling with this software here, so we're here. Maybe this will work. We'll highlight that one. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. There's some cool things to it.
Mm-hmm. Andrew, I want to know first off your thoughts initially. What's the biggest takeaway for you for the Switch 2 coming out?
Well, you know, when the Switch 1 first came out, and then we heard like people putting their Joy-Cons the wrong way and it getting stuck, I wonder if that's still an issue. Like, could you flip the Joy-Con around and plug it the wrong way and then go, "Oh, no, it's broken."
Did you do
I've
that,
done
Ken?
well, not on the Switch, but you know the little thing you slide on, the kind of cover thing with the strap? Like you pull the Joy-Con off and there's the little kind of cover thing, like with the strap on it that makes it a little controller. I've put that on backwards.
Oh, like, there's, kinda like an extra grip
Yeah, that
thing.
you slide onto the Joy-Con that makes it like a mini controller.
Ah, I see, I see.
I
It's
did.
So
is it the same as this one that I'm holding right here? Or
no,
is it
it's
the
the
when
mini
it's
the mini
singular,
Joy-Con
when you're
part.
holding it like this and there's, like, a grip?
Yeah, that's the one, the
I
tiny little
see.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I believe I did see a video of a guy talking about he did. He was at like one of the expos or whatever, and he did do it on the wrong direction, and he had no problem with it. It actually worked. He commented
Okay.
Oh,
that either
really?
way worked, and he said he was able to detach the magnetic because now it's a magnetic connection, not a
Mhm.
railing
Right.
system. So yeah, he said he put it on the wrong way, and it still worked, and he was able to take it off no problem. So apparently that issue should be fixed.
Mhm.
So
A couple of quick notes. So it says a 7.9-inch screen.
yeah,
Uh,
so the screen is bigger than the previous generation. Yeah.
Bigger than the
high
OLED, yeah.
definition LCD. We'll get to that in a second.
Hmm.
HDR, and then 120 frames per second, up
Yes.
with compatible games.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
what what are your thoughts there with the um, with
Okay,
no
so
OLED? That's my first question.
I've heard reports that the screen, despite not being OLED is like a really good screen with what it
Mhm.
is there. Um, and I think the they went for a good resolution. It is 1080p, which I think is a good target. I'm glad they didn't go for anything higher than that. That's all you need.
Yeah,
The first generation was
I
720.
can you not do 4K though on
Dock.
the TVs? I think if it's
When you
docked.
dock it, it goes up to 4K. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
so I'm
yeah.
excited about that.
And the Metroid game is going to be 4K 60 on that one.
Okay.
So which is kind of impressive.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's and again 120 frames per second screen, which is nice. Not every game is going to make use of it, but it is
Right.
a variable. It's nice that it's a variable refresh rate screen, so that
Mhm.
it should be like Cameron's piping in saying that he really likes the 120 frames per second. Very important to me after seeing the original Switch frame rate. Yeah,
Right.
so it's an
Okay.
upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're hoping most games will support at least 60. You know, even on the Switch One, like playing Animal Crossing, that's like 30 frames per
Mhm.
second. It doesn't attempt to be like, oh, a high, you know,
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
frame rate game. So they are increasing some of the frame rate and the loading with new Switch edition versions of the original games for extra money.
Mhm.
So
So why don't
yeah,
we talk about games in a second? Let's just talk about some of the features that we've seen. I know there's probably more. I saw that there's like the Joy-Con. If you turn it on its side, it's like a mouse.
right.
Is that gimmicky or is that
I'm gonna say no. What do you
okay?
guys think, Andrew? What do you think? I actually lean towards not being a gimmick. But it could be if not used right.
Well, I guess do we know? I don't know. Sometimes they come out with these things and then it's only ever used for a couple different games.
Right.
So is it something that'll be common or
I think most of the games they showed off, I think maybe 50, maybe a little less than 50% of the games shown off had a little bit of mouse controls
Mhm,
possibly added onto it.
mhm,
So, like we have the Metroid Prime games, we have like games specifically developed like the weird sports in the wheelchair basketball game. Like so the basketball game, I think it puts it in the gimmicky side of things whereas we're hoping as the first party game specifically uses it that more will take advantage of it because as you were saying if on the original Joy-Con there's like the IR camera that isn't used barely at all, right? So that became a
mhm.
gimmick, whereas if it was used more often then it would be, I would say, not a gimmick. So
Yeah,
I think it takes a bit of time. We have to see the whole release schedule, whether or not it's actually a gimmick or not. Because like we saw some third-party developers develop. We had that mouse game where you can work together as a party, 4 mouse control players, help each other solve puzzles, and that seemed like a good implementation of it. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping more games lean towards that, especially for the indies, because if indies develop with that in mind and it's very easily done, not hard to do, then more people would create games for it. That's, I think, the hope.
Hmm. Do we know if the mouse Joy-Con can be used as like a mouse for a shooter?
So I
Yeah.
think that's the Metroid Prime example.
Oh,
There's
is
like
that okay?
2.
I didn't see that. So
Yeah. So I think they are giving you the option to do it in mouse mode versus a non-mouse mode. So you're
okay.
not forced into that. And we'll see if like it's gonna be an option or is it gonna be like forced onto the player.
So then the big question is, will we be able to use our own mouse?
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I
But
doubt it. But you never know.
competitive gamers.
But there could be a good
There will
market
probably
for
be
third
third-party
party.
aftermarket ones down the road, I
Yeah.
guess, would be my guess.
Yeah.
But
I'm thinking
yeah.
there might be a third-party
Yeah.
adapter or some sort.
So Kamen says PC games dependent on mouse movement can be brought to Switch 2. I think about how Civ can work on it in a particular with its large amount of UI.
Yeah.
So
Right.
That
I
makes
think
sense.
there was an announced game that, like a Civ type game that was announced using exactly mouse mode that was also demoed in the. So you know how you could apply to get a hands-on of the Switch early? I think that happened like maybe during this month or the last month. So I
I've
think they showed
seen
off
there's a bunch of YouTubers who have them in their hands already.
because
So
I think applications for that happened like 2 or 3 like months ago. So I don't know. Did either of you apply to try to get into that early hands-on in like Canada or wherever?
no.
I haven't.
Yeah.
No.
I tried to apply, but yeah, I was trying to get in with a friend, and things didn't work out. So
Yeah.
but it's gonna come out soon. So
Mario says Civ 7. Do we know Mario?
Mario.
Anybody here know Mario?
That looks like my
Welcome.
friend Mario.
Hello,
Welcome, Mario.
I think we also have
hello.
we also have a new subscriber.
We do.
Let's
Josiah.
Josiah.
Is this the Josiah I know?
I think we know this Josiah. Good morning, Josiah. Good to see you.
Good morning, Josiah.
Thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome aboard.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple other things. The camera right here.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah. It's a camera.
It's a camera.
Although what's neat is that the Switch 2 is using more modern NVIDIA technology, like the current like NVIDIA GPUs. So the camera, and apparently you'll be able to use other cameras as well that are supported. But what's nice about it is it will have access to NVIDIA's like auto cutting out like the background removal stuff, which is convenient. So, and because it's NVIDIA, you can be like competent. It's going to be like a competent version of that. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool that they've incorporated that they've have that back into it. I did want to note that you have like your friend sharing mode. They're showing the person they're playing the game with 4 other buddies down below. And if you watch the streaming of that, the recording of it, it's like a low frame rate of like each friend.
15.
15 frames per second. Okay. And some people might be critical. I'm actually okay with that because it's like it's streaming like 4 other friends. You're all getting a rough idea of where each other's at. I actually think it was a smart move because it's going to be not that taxing on the system, and you have enough information to know what they're doing. I think it's a good balance. Some people might be critical of that, but I think it's a smart way to handle it with NVIDIA's tech in there. So I don't know if the camera will be special, but the tech behind it.
So is it true that if, for example, Mario Kart, is it Mario Kart or Mario Kart?
I've been told it's Mario many times.
It depends on the day of the week. Yeah. Anyway, like if you're sharing with friends, I don't know that you all need a copy of the game, do you?
Apparently you don't. I've heard that
So-
if you have one copy and you like, at least in the family group or something, you're able to have one
Mhm.
copy and then share with other people. It might work with friends. You can share the
Mhm.
game temporarily if it's like a 4-player game like Mario Kart, apparently,
Mhm.
which would be very cool. So you don't all have to have a copy of the game.
Mhm.
Mario says, pronounce
So-
it however you see fit. Thanks, Mario. Oh yeah, you have the authority to say that.
What's that, Mario? Awesome, I love it. And Thomas is asking if this is season 2 of the Tech Chit Chat Show. I honestly think we're up to either season 4 or 5. So I don't know. Thomas, you were in like grade something when we were doing this, skipping school. So
And now Thomas has graduated, and so now he can watch it legally during the day. So, although it is Saturday today, but
So it seems like people were complaining about how low res it seemed, the cameras, but from what people have discovered, I think, is that the official camera that the Nintendo will launch is 1080p, and then
Mhm.
there's like some third-party ones that are really low, maybe like even 480p or like cheaper. Because like this, I think this camera was like $40 US. I don't know.
Okay.
Money
So-
is
not expensive.
complicated today.
There's
Yeah.
a couple other things I want to bring up about this. First off, just back to the Joy Cons, they're
Let's
like
keep it.
magnetic now, apparently, too. I think we
Mhm.
did we mention that?
Yeah.
So
And it's
Yeah, a
cool
little bit.
because the LR shoulder buttons, they are the magnetic bits.
okay,
Like, they're part
I know
of
we
it.
talked about them, the Joy Cons, but I don't remember if we said they were magnetic.
Yeah.
And then Andrew, do you want to talk about the C button, the cash
Yeah.
button?
Yeah, I call it the cash button because like it's locked behind a paywall. Essentially, you kind of need Nintendo Online to use it. So, I mean, I think if you buy it ahead of time, you might be able to use Nintendo Switch Online on the Switch 2 maybe for free temporarily until a certain amount. Kind of like just to test the waters and do like probably network tests of like how many people are using Switch 2 today and
Mhm.
see if it explodes Nintendo servers. So
Mhm.
there's always chances of you being able to use it. Like there's like on Switch 1 you get the free trials every once in a while, and they reset the free trials as well, and they tell you on the Nintendo site. So there's a lot of chances to get to try out and use it and see if it's worth it for you. A lot of people complain like,
Mhm.
"Oh, everyone uses Discord, so why do we need this, screen sharing function?" But, I'm sure it's well integrated into the game, and including that multiplayer game sharing feature,
Mhm.
it'll be pretty convenient,
So-
I would say.
I agree.
I have a couple things to say. So if you can see the
Go
screen right now, there's the C button is down here at the bottom,
Yeah.
on the right, if you're wondering where it is. And my second thing is, like, if I use, like, I have an Xbox, a PlayStation, and the original Switch, and I never really use the screenshot buttons or anything, and they're always just a random button I push and it pops up, and I'm just annoyed. So just random things like that, I'm like, but anyway.
Yeah, I wonder how I guess annoying user experience wise would it be if you didn't pay for Nintendo Online and you accidentally keep pressing it? Does it like boot you back to like, oh no, oh you now need to pay for the trial, and it's like, oh, I
Mhm.
want to cancel it, and then you keep pressing it and it like blocks the gameplay. I'm not sure how bad that is, but I think
Yeah.
it's like for a convenience thing. If you own Nintendo Online, I think it makes kind of a lot of sense to have that. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if have you watched any footage where you could like fully watch someone else's screen and like have maybe a full quality version of it, maybe like a full screen version.
I haven't seen that.
Sure.
That would
No.
be
I'm
nice.
I'm hoping that they have that
Yeah.
available because like if the only option is watch a tiny low
Do you
frame
mean
rate
like
screen.
similar? Didn't like PS5 do that? Don't they have
I'm
that
not sure. I don't
feature?
have PS5.
Yeah, Wasn't there like a way to what system had it that a friend could take over and play for them?
Oh, really?
Yeah, what console was
Sure.
that? PS5? I haven't had a PS5. I remember hearing about this where a friend could jump in, take over control, and play a part, and then I feel like that was a
I'm
Sony
sure
thing.
Thomas probably would know if he pops that up.
Of course,
in the
Thomas
chat.
would know. Yeah.
I don't quite yet get how it has to be asymmetric. The original N64 controller was very comfortable.
That's debatable. That's
From
debatable.
Mario.
Mario.
Hot take.
Yeah, that's a hot take. Yeah. A PS4 share play. Thank you, Thomas.
Mario
Thomas
goes by. Oh, okay. So Mario. Okay, now I'm confused. It's an A like art. So
Mario.
Mario.
Got it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thomas says it's PS4 share play.
Wow.
And
So,
I thought that the Switch one, if you're playing online, like the retro consoles, I think you could possibly play as player one or whatever if you both own it online and like share the game together, because there's like a multiplayer function. So maybe it's like just an extension of that in some way. They're just like fleshing it out by the developers. So
yeah, I think it's a good direction. Even if frame rates are low for now with the multi thing, but a more dedicated thing would be nice to see a higher high refresh rate for like just one person watching.
I do want to talk about games. Let's quickly talk about games.
Can we talk about one thing before games? One thing?
Sure. Well, Thomas says the PS4 SharePlay was laggy.
Yeah, I could see that. That would make it painful if you're trying to help your friend beat the boss and you can't even do it because it's so laggy. That would be painful.
I'll see.
What did you want to talk about, Stu?
I wanted first, before the games, is to talk about the price. Because this will tie into the games.
Price.
Yeah. So I want to know, because it's listed at basically $450 US.
Mm-hmm.
So in us Canadian dollars, that's going to be about what, $6? They're probably going to make it like $650.
I think somewhere around there. I think the problem is, well, they pulled the pre-orders in Canada and the US, I believe. Maybe I think in North America because of tariffs and things. They're not sure.
Yeah.
Actually, what to charge is my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the pre-orders are back in Europe. I saw, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, pricey. Oh, Thomas is saying $619. Is that the time or the price?
Well, that's not bad. If that was, yeah. Is it the launch date? If that was the, if that's the price in Canadian dollars, that's actually not bad. My opinion. Sorry. I know that people are saying that this is high for a Nintendo console. I was actually talking to Josiah actually on this topic a little bit, and I think the pricing is spot on for the technology they're giving, for the specs that they've hit. I think it's quite reasonable, and I'm glad they didn't actually go cheaper, because I think they just hit the right perfect point of performance and quality of control, all that stuff. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think this is? Yeah.
I don't know that. So that seems more like the price that I would expect to pay for a PlayStation or an Xbox.
Sure.
But
Nintendo has typically been a little bit less expensive than them.
Right.
So that's, I think, where, for me, the shock value comes in. However, it seems like a lot if you're going to walk around with it as a handheld and give it to your kid. But it seems, just because it's, so if you if you break it, whereas if it's sitting docked, it seems more normal.
Right. Sure. But we have phones that are like $1,000.
Right.
That's true. And maybe we've gotten used to like PlayStations and Xboxes coming down in price and being in that price. It might be, you're right. Like $1,000 for a phone seems like a deal now almost for something. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it can run in 4K and HDR, and that's usually hitting above even computers. Like you can't play 4K stuff on a low end computer, these types of games, right? So
and that comfortably, and have the option to take it portably and about like.
Yeah. Well, Thomas brings up a good point, Stephen. When we bought our PlayStations, we both bought the PS3s.
Yeah, you
They
bought
were
3 PS3s,
650.
didn't you? Back in
No,
the day?
2.
Oh,
Like
2.
we bought 2, so you took one and I took
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So
It was
that was
650 in
in
06,
2006. Yeah. So, um,
which is like 950 today's is. Yeah. That's the
yeah.
thing, is that the pricing I don't think it's gotten worse. I think it's still spot on.
And King Amiss, welcome on Twitch.
It's King Amos.
King Amos.
You Oh, so you guys know who he is?
Yeah.
Welcome. Oh, awesome. Thanks for joining us. With the specs being closer to the PS4 and the PS5 isn't even $600, I think the price is way too high. So we've got altering opinions here. So whereas Cameron thinks the price is good. So I think that's a kind of example of the market. Everybody has kind of a mixed opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think it's too high if you're just walking around with it in your hand for kids. But if it's a console, it seems more normal.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that maybe they're gonna give an alternate version, right? They're gonna maybe cut some corners to make a toned down version, maybe a light version. Maybe it can't do 4K HDR, maybe like 1440p only or something.
Well,
And
there's a lot of kids with the original Switch Lite, which is a fair bit cheaper. And
right.
I mean, Nintendo seems to. I like their move where they, in the Switch, like they went away from like the handheld, like the DS or the Game Boy, and they just went with the same console essentially for both.
Right.
Yeah.
And then well, and then Thomas has a good point. What's the OLED going to cost when that comes out? Because I know Linus Tech Tips did a video that he has to buy 2 Switches.
It's okay. He can afford
because
it.
I get it, but like because they review them, but you're all of a sudden having to buy 2 because when the OLED comes, they're going to have to buy that one as well.
Yeah.
So, we wanted to talk about games quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, apparently, it also gets affected by the pricing, but I guess that's a different thing. But the games in general, I guess we can. The lineup.
Yeah.
Andrew,
so
was there something that stood out to you?
Well, Mario, always kart is always fun.
Yeah. Okay. Can I give a hot take? Can I?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I do not like the look of the new Mario Kart that much compared to Mario Kart 8. Yeah. Okay. I might stay a bigger fan of Mario Kart 8 than I could be convinced it could change when I play this one. But from what I've seen so far, it feels about 75% as good as Mario Kart 8. That impression. Like there's things that are graphically better. There's better animations and different things, but something feels off. Something feels a little weird to me. It may do really, 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 really well, but I may stick to Mario Kart 8 as being the one that I go to. But we'll see. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the Zeldas are they upscaled versions or something? I heard.
So there's like a paid upgrade path.
If you have it for the Switch.
So yeah, if you owned it for the Switch, and then you can pay for like a DLC kind of improvement, and then you can play it on the Switch too with higher frame rate, better loading times, and bonus features. So it's kind of essentially a DLC that makes it work better for the Switch too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like an extra 30 USD, I think.
Okay.
Who knows what happens to the price, but something like that.
The other thing that I saw, which I thought was cool, is the I can't remember what it's called. This like the Nintendo plan where you pay for this service.
The online.
They're adding they're adding the GameCube, some of the GameCube games.
Right.
Yep.
So
yes, they are.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if that's like an expansion pack kind of online thing where you have to pay for the higher tier price of
it was on the
it's
original
totally...
Switch, like if you wanted, was it the Super Nintendo game?
64?
No, or Nintendo 64 games or something, you had to pay more than just the basic one. So top games that stood out for you guys then? I know you'd mentioned Metroid.
Metroid looks beautiful. Again, I'm impressed by the using the full spectrum of like handheld mode. It's going to have, I mean, it graphically looks good, but it's going to support 720p and 120 hertz on the handheld, or a 1080p 60 on the handheld. So you have like performance mode and like a quality mode, as well as docked. It has a 1440p 120 hertz mode and a 4K 60 mode. So I feel like that game really makes use of all the like spectrum of the uses of like you want quality or a performance mode. I think that's really nice. I think the developer is really solid on that game, and I think they should do a good job. As for another game that, okay, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4.
Okay. I saw that. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Did you grow up with that one?
Yeah, that's Tony Hawk 3 and 4. 3.
When I got the PS2, that's the one I played a lot. Tony Hawk 3.
That was a time. That was such a good game. Yeah.
Thomas is saying that Donkey Kong is a system seller for me.
So. I don't know. I can't tell if he's joking or serious with that.
I don't know. The funny thing about I can't either, and he's my son. But we bought him a Donkey Kong game when he was younger, and he hated it. So,
do you remember which one it was that?
Thomas, which was the Donkey Kong game we bought you that you didn't like? Cameron, New Kirby Air Ride was the biggest thing for me. So happy to see that.
That one I want to see for sure.
I never played the newer Kirby. I forget the name of it. The adventure one. Yes, Mario. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 was great.
Yes,
I think that's the best.
Now, okay. Side note: am I wrong? Is Tony Hawk coming to other platforms?
Well, there was the they did the 1+2 remake. I think that was another stuff.
Yeah, but is it? But is that going to come to like PlayStation or anything? Have you heard anything about that?
I would think so.
Yeah, because that's like the game I want to get. So Thomas is saying it was Donkey Kong Returns 3D was too difficult.
Oh,
yeah. So that makes sense. Actually, a good game, but it is very difficult.
Yeah. So, and then Donkey Kong Country Original Trilogy was one of the best series. So
it was good. That was a series I originally didn't care for, but when you played, it grows on you. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
And Thomas is saying Tony Hawk is going to everything. So even if I don't get a Switch 2, I'm likely to get that.
I'm realizing Thomas is our inside scoop on this stuff, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes, Tony Hawk. Other platforms, even Steve.
It's confirmed.
Also PC. It's confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah. Anybody else have an insight on a game that we missed that they're excited about?
I mean, those were the announced games for Switch 2, right? Mario Kart. For me, I'm excited about the Mario Kart, and I do think the Donkey Kong game is a very decent adventure from the looks of the gameplays. Especially, it kind of gives you the feel of like Mario Odyssey, but it has that Donkey Kong flavor, and so it probably is from a similar team or using a similar engine. So the graphics and just all of it is laid out quite well. So I expect it to be a fun game. I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy it right out, but if I can get a Switch 2, I'm hoping that down the line we'll have a bunch of games at the library. We could just get it, because I bought some Switch games that now I'm like, oh, let me check the library, and it's like, whoa, I can borrow like 80% of the games I want to play there. So it's like there's a lot of chances to play these games, even if the price is a little high up there right now, and well, we'll have to wait and see. And even before then, all of the Switch 1 games should be compatible, with some exceptions from what they've said in the marketing material. And so I'm excited to play the new Switch 1 games, hopefully in the near future, like the 2016 games like Rhythm Heaven, Tamagotchi. Those things will come to both Switch 1 and 2, though. They both will work. So I'm just as excited about, future coming games, whether or not they're Switch 2 only, because those will be accessible.
Yeah.
Well, guys, should we move on to the next category? Because we have 4 categories and we're still on the Switch.
Well, this has been great. Yeah, I guess
It has been great.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. That's been fun to talk about, and we will magically twinkle over to. I'm excited about that.
Where did that come from?
Where did that come from? It was magic. All right, so the GPU market. What are your thoughts? Let me bring this up here, and we'll put that there.
A little tiny.
Stephen, let me take.
Yeah, I feel like you should full
on
screen it. Yeah, if you could make it just full screen it, get rid of us. Yeah, so I thought it's been a while since we've because before we would often talk about GPUs and stuff like that. I thought, well, let's do a state of the current Steam hardware GPUs, and yeah, so if we click on the GPUs there, we see at the top now the most popular card is the RTX 3060, which you said you're actually running in the computer you're streaming with right now, right?
I've got two 3060s, to be honest. So
yeah,
in the computer I'm streaming on right now, I've got a 3060. They've just been good workhorses. They've got the 12 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah.
And just been kind of happy with it. So
yeah. And it seems like a lot of people have been happy with them. Yeah. So it's just interesting. Last time we talked, because it also like for a long time, I think when we started Tech Chit Chat, like the 1060, I think was like the king of the Steam hardware survey. And there's still quite a good it's still quite up there still, the 1060. A lot of people are still using it, but actually, and it's funny, before we started, you're saying the last time we did a stream,
well, it was almost 2 years ago that we streamed, and I went back and just watched a small snippet of it last night, and we were talking about the 4060 series cards coming out, and then I think in the July the 4060 Ti was coming out, and I kind of had to laugh because I just bought a 4060 Ti, the 16 gig version.
Right.
And now we're that was nearly a year and a half ago it came out, but it was just kind of funny because those are still quite high up on the list here, the 4060s. So the second card is the 4060, and then 4060 laptop version is the third, and then all the way down to the 4060 Ti, what's that, fifth, is down here. Now it doesn't say if that's the 8 gig or the 16 gig like I have.
Yeah, and you notice, interesting, we don't see like the highest end cards up there. It's really that mid-grade level. So not much has really changed in one way, like that 60 1060 2060. Well, I'm not seeing 1060 2060 3060 tier seems to really be the majority.
Like you have to get all the way down, I don't know what that is, around 10th maybe, before you see a 4070. There's a 4070 Super. Like, I'm not even seeing like the 40. I get like, and then there's Radeon like built-in graphics in here,
and Intel RUHD graphics.
Yeah,
which is not a small number actually of people. So yeah.
So
I like how
way down here to get to the 4090.
Yeah,
the 0.9%, 4080 Super.
And Cameron mentioned, if you bring up his comment, you'll see, and this is my case as well. I am pushing a 1080 Ti. It says 1080 Ti has lived with me for years. I predict it will last me for many years to come. Dude, the 1080 Ti, I'm also running one on the computer right now. It's been great. Yes, it doesn't have the latest ray tracing and things like that, but for just raw rendering, especially when I just play on a 1080p screen, that's what I play my games on, it holds up well. So
okay, I have to laugh at Thomas's comment though. First off, I want to say I agree with you on that series of card, other than the ray tracing stuff. But Thomas is using my other computer that has an A770 in it.
Oh, he is. Thomas got the A770. I also
he's borrowing it at the moment. So
does that have enough power for the games he's playing today? Is it pretty comparable?
Well, Thomas was on a 1050 Ti, so I think it was an upgrade.
It's
Yeah.
that card has been pretty good, other than the fact that I was having compatibility issues with
Oh,
um, an editing software I was using,
I see.
and I'm going to retest it again with DaVinci Resolve now that I'm using that, because it does have a lot of VRAM. It has 16 gigs of VRAM,
Oh, really?
and yeah, so um, like it's a decent card. It was just I was having some compatibility issues. For
Oh,
gaming though, I think it's been pretty decent.
I see.
Yeah. I'd be curious. Anyone else listening? What's the GPU you're running? Are you happy with your card? Are you looking to get a new card? I'd just be interested to know people's thoughts on that. Another thing that I thought interesting on the survey too is Windows 10 is still 40% of the Steam market.
Windows 10.
Windows 10. So a lot of people.
Interesting.
That's a big number, and it's going to become unsupported come October officially.
Mhm.
Unless you pay like the upgrade, you have to pay like $30 a year or
Like the
something.
support.
Yeah, for
Extended
security
support.
updates.
Yeah.
40% of gamers on Steam apparently are on Windows 10. That's a big number.
I'm assuming this is a worldwide.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of countries, I mean, around the world, you may milk the computer for as long as you can.
Well, I'm running Windows 10. I'm streaming off Windows 10 right now from a computer
Okay.
basically from 2013.
Same.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Why upgrade? Like, it's actually running great. My laptop is Windows 11, but my desktop is Windows 10. It's fine. So get those TPM computers. Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll continue on here. So, we'll go on to the next one. AI tricking recruiters. Do you like the sound effects or not really?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Okay, I'm in trouble now. Anyway,
Yes.
I've totally lost my train of thought here after that.
So AI tricking recruiters, we're in a future where people applying for jobs, now that remote interviews are a thing for programming jobs and so forth. And there has been mentioned here in this article about deepfake and AI technology being used to trick recruiters so that the people that you think you're interviewing are not actually the people you think you're interviewing. So this article starts about like apparently there was a company themselves that needed to hire people, and they were situated themselves to use their own technology to detect if some of their applicants are not actually who they are. And
Well, I think the company was Pindrop, and they have a 300-person information security company. So kind of interesting.
yes, and if I have this right, out of 800, so in this part of this article, out of 827 applicants for the developer position, the team found that roughly 100 or 12.5% applied using fake identities. So not a small number. They'd mentioned that some of the people who were in charge of hiring detecting like weird like audio anomalies, like things, just something didn't seem right, I think, with the call or whatever. And there's another, apparently there's another, and one startup founder recently told Fortune that about 95% of the resumes he receives are from North Korean engineers pretending to be Americans. Like,
that's a lot.
Like, if that's like, I don't want to double check that number because that's a significant thing if that's true.
Well, and it also says 17% of hiring managers have already encountered candidates using deepfakes.
That's a problem.
So,
like, how do we know that we're not deep faking right now? How do you know that we're real?
I don't.
That's true.
And to me, this, deep faking is just kind of an extension of, being fraudulent about it. Because, like, there's been a lot of online scams where it's like a job posting where you're like an intermediary where a real person can take the interview for you. and then some North Korean is like puppeting someone to do it, and they're paying like some amount of money for them to funnel that, right? So it's like that just extends. Okay, now deepfake allows you to not even need a third person to do it, whereas like, you know, if you have a third person, that increases the likelihood of you getting hired, especially if you do have like some amount of well established credibility somewhere. So that instantly kind of increases the odds. Like, this is just saying 100%, 100 out of 800 are doing deepfake or whatever fake identities. So we don't even know how many additional of that were like illegitimate, right? So
Yeah.
Well,
it could be
after you
worse.
say that there, Andrew, maybe you're a deep fake.
Yeah, Ken and I, we created you. We needed a new host. We're like, we could just use AI.
There you
Yeah.
go.
We trained
And
you
then
on all our old episodes. We trained
things
your
a myth.
data.
Yeah. This goes into the dead internet theory.
Is that a dead
So-
internet theory? Would that be like, because you can't trust anything anymore, you have to like, the internet dies because it crushes itself? Is that, I don't know what that is.
I'm assuming so.
It seems something along those lines.
Oh, he says
Nope.
nope.
Okay, never
We're
mind.
totally-
Never mind.
We are totally off.
I'm not smart enough for this.
All right. But anyway, yeah, that was. Oh, here we go. Basically, AI talking to other AI, etc. No. Okay.
Interesting. That's kind of a funny thought. Okay.
So, anyway, yeah, it's definitely interesting that this is happening, and with AI, there's a lot of change happening for sure. For sure.
So,
So-
if you had to open a position to do something, would you want it to be remote after hearing this? And if you do, what would you do to kind of counteract that?
Ooh.
Well, is the person going to do a good job for me?
The results. You just want the results.
What are the results?
Wow.
No, it's definitely concerning.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
I think it's probably going to push interviewers to be more specific, like asking really specific questions. Like there's things that between friends you can ask certain things to know that they're not real. Like if there was concern, be like, yeah, remember that one year we did that? And like, oh yeah, I remember. Like, no, that never happened. Like if there was this mutual, I think if you can build up these ways to just know that something's off. If you're really from Kentucky, you should know about something from Kentucky, right?
Right.
Which is going to lead into our last article of the day, a little bit of spoiler alert about Kentucky. But yeah.
So here's the from Kings and Myths. Do you want to read that, Stephen?
The dead internet theory is a conspiracy theory that asserts, due to a coordinated and intentional effort, the internet now consists mainly of bot activity and automatically generated content manipulated by algorithmic curation to control the population and minimize organic human activity. I read it, but I don't understand it that much.
So we'll let you do your own search on it. Ask AI to give you let you know.
No, my bot will do it for me. Thanks.
All right. Our next topic is the Windows 11 Start menu. This on a lighter note.
So, how much experience have you all had with, Windows 11? Do you use it every day? Are you on a
I
Windows
use
10
it every
computer and
day.
Don't
Yes.
use it.
I use it only for my laptop, so like 30%.
Okay.
So
I use like maybe 5% in my life.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I switch back and forth.
So are you?
I don't even realize it.
Are you both then on Windows 10 for the most part?
For me,
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, okay.
But
all my
I'll switch.
computers are only one computer is Windows 11. I don't use that computer a lot.
Interesting. Okay. I'm just actually surprised, but um, I don't know. I like Windows 11. When I go back to Windows 10, I'm annoyed now. So
All your
Oh
computers
yeah.
are Windows 11 now.
except this like gaming laptop I have next to me that controls the monitor behind me there somewhere.
I see.
That's Windows 10, but other than that, I'm all Windows 11 now.
So, have you experienced this Windows 11 bigger start menu thing? Are you on it already, or is it coming up?
No,
for
I'm
you?
not on it yet. So if I open my start menu here,
Normal one.
I still am getting recommended.
Yeah.
It would be
Which
nice.
honestly, I don't mind sometimes.
Hey.
But it looks like so essentially Windows 11 start menu is supposed to be getting a redesign. Um, and it looks like there's different categories in there, which is handy. And you can turn off the recommended area.
I'm happy about that.
I am too. I like more customization with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just because otherwise you're going, searching through your show all and trying to look for programs. I do like when it's not to have too messy of a desktop to have it as a shortcut. It is nice if it's right there. And it looks like there's categories and different things. So that'll be kind of neat to check out.
Yeah, and that was actually, I think, something the other day. I think I was trying to turn off the recommended feed, and so that's relevant for me because I just wanted it. I find I just wasn't using it. I don't need it. If I want to reference files, I create my own shortcuts. I take care of that myself. I don't really have a need to remember. Oh yeah, I was using this, and so that's the kind of stuff I don't like when operating systems, when stuff's like, "Let me help you, let me help you, let me help you." It's like, no, go away. Like I don't want your help. For users who know what they're doing and how they want to set things up, we don't want assistance. We don't want the training wheels. We don't want, having the option to turn it off is fantastic. So I'm for. It's like one more. It's those kind of things that would drive people to Linux distributions. It's like I don't want. You just turn it off. Yeah. So I'm happy about this change. If they can just allow more settings, turn things off, streamline it, make it clean, I'm happy. So
yeah. So I'm happy with it. I always welcome little changes like that are handy. So not a big topic. I see Mario's having to leave. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
there, Mario. Mario. Mario, not Mario.
Mario. Yeah, like the normal way I use Windows 10, the start menu, in Windows 10 there's like a full screen one, and then there's also the mini version, right? The one that's like pops up on the side. So the full screen version was like kind of a leftover from Windows 8, right? Where there's like no suggestions, it's all just tiles and such, and then you can like swap over to all the programs. And then the mini menu, it has like some programs, and then there's also suggestions ish, sort of, and then like some default apps, right? And so
Windows
I
8?
always no in Windows 10.
Oh, sorry. I just had a brain into like outer space with the old. Was it 8 that had the tiles?
Yes.
Yeah, Windows 8 had tiles, and technically Windows 10 you can make it to have tiles. I mean, it does have tiles already as well, sort of.
Yeah.
And so I like remove all of anything that Windows suggests you to have. I kind of always remove them. So even in Windows 11, like the normal basic one, I also remove all the suggestions already. And so I'm just expecting it to streamline that process. If I make another Windows 10 computer 11, I'll probably like, oh, it's nice that it's, in a way, it's kind of like tiles again, but it's like it's already pre-organized, kind of like an iPhone or whatever when you swipe all the way to the right. So I'm excited to see that they fix a lot of the UI bugs and stuff, because you they're training your kind of your habits, right? You're supposed to be able to press start, and then you type something and it should automatically go to the search bar and whatever, it instantly jumps to the things, right? But then they added like internet suggestions and other random things, right?
Yeah, gets in the
So
way.
for a power user, like
Yeah.
I would say I'm sort of a power user. I'm like, I just want to find all the programs I am thinking of, and that's what I'm typing. That's what I want to get suggested. And
Mhm.
so that's kind of how it forced me to use. There's like a program called Void Tools Everything. I've been using that as like an alternate search bar. I just go like hotkey for that. It pops up. I just typed like file name. It usually pops up whatever the latest video file or latest picture file with that name, or and it has like some fuzzy search features, like you could search like Twitch to be like a Twitch folder, and then you can add like the file name so that it searches within the Twitch folder. So like
Mhm.
that's kind of how like Windows being so bad at suggesting what you wanted to get in the start menu. I'm like, I'll just have to find a better way elsewhere
Yeah.
because it's not so good. But maybe
Right.
they'll fix that and it'll be better because
Right. So
Mhm.
it's
just
it's
that.
it's not supporting the power. The power users are the ones that I guess Windows. Yeah. Yeah. I feel. Yeah.
I feel like when Windows, if it was in Windows 8 that had those tiles when that first came
Yeah.
in, all of a sudden I felt like I didn't know how to use a computer.
You're not the only one.
I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember trying to figure out how to turn off the computer, and it felt really frustrating.
Yeah. That was a time. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like you know what's bad when Windows dropped official support for Windows 7 and 8 at the same time. Like the end of
How's that?
life was dropped really quick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's all good. I like the change. But we have one more. One
One
more
more
topic.
article.
It's
The final
lighthearted, very lighthearted.
Okay. Just go to the next article.
All right. Finger licking toothpaste.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What could this be about?
Well, apparently, Kentucky Fried Chicken introduced fried chicken flavored toothpaste and a toothbrush that sold out very quickly.
Okay.
not very tech related. I guess the toothbrush is an electric or electronic
There
toothbrush.
you go.
Great.
Great.
Gravy toothpaste.
The toothbrush sold for $59 US, and a fluoride-free toothpaste could be picked up for $13, and it's sold out like right away.
My favorite part, apparently, it's fluoride free. That's my preference.
There you go.
So I could actually buy this toothpaste.
Extra skin, fluoride-free.
I like bring the unmistakable taste of crispy golden perfection straight to your toothbrush for a full-on flavor takeover.
So Thomas says this isn't the first time we've talked about KFC on Tech Chitchat Show.
No, it's not. It may not be the last time.
He says, I believe it's the third time. Oh, there's great gravy toothpaste.
Yes.
And Mario, because I still can't remember. Mario. Yeah, I heard about this. He's gonna stick to his own.
So when's the
Crap.
last time you all had KFC?
Oh,
It's been a while. Maybe years ago.
Wow.
Maybe years.
I've had fried chicken in the last 6 months, but usually Thomas and I would get like KFC when Andrea's out of town, and she hasn't been out of town for a couple of years.
Okay.
So it's been a long time. But Thomas apparently has had it 4 weeks ago.
Of course he has.
Yeah.
So
I don't
Thomas
normally
also
get KFC, so
had a
yeah.
Slurpee out of his boot yesterday, so I don't know.
Oh,
It was
we need to
bring your
know
own cup day to 7-Eleven, and he brought a rubber boot with a bag in it and got a Slurpee. So I'm proud of my son.
Yeah, I wish we had a picture of that ready to show. Maybe next time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it here on me, but I do have a photo.
Would you buy KFC toothpaste if you were if you went to KFC and you're like so imagine that it was on your mind that day. Oh yeah, remember to buy toothpaste in the day because you ran out, and you're at KFC and you see that they have toothpaste. Would you buy it?
I'd be hard pressed to buy it for $13, but if it was at like Dollar Tree for $1.25, I would definitely buy it.
Right, because it does have a unique flavor, right? Like they're going for like an.
No, it would be like a put in your kids' stockings kind of thing,
right?
At Christmas,
right?
Like a gag gift. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be an everyday.
Again, I like this line as well. Inspired by KFC's legendary 11 herbs and spices, this toothpaste is like biting into a crispy, hot, juicy piece of KFC original recipe chicken. Do you want that?
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
In the morning, you just want to wake up to a hot and juicy, crispy.
Like,
chicken.
Does that mean your breath won't be smelling fresh? It'll smell like you ate
KFC. That's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to kind of leave it there.
But
I like this point. I like this point. It would motivate some people. I'm going to add some in there.
Yeah.
To brush their teeth more.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
What were you going to say?
I forgot there's one thing. It's good to be back with the Tech Chit Chat show. Andrew, it's been awesome to have you along with us.
Yeah.
We forgot one thing in us getting everything together this morning. We forgot a question of the day.
Oh, we did.
So, what should be our question of the day today? Should it be related to the Switch? Should it be related to toothpaste? Should it be related to...
Why don't we do 2 questions of the day?
Okay.
I know we're moving along here. Just do the easy one. Would you, let's take the price out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, if you had a bottle of KFC toothpaste, would you use it or try it?
Okay.
I would.
Okay.
I would try it. But not like
you try it, Steven?
Long term. I don't know about.
Because it's fluoride free? Yes. They won me on that one. They won me on that. I don't know how healthy everything else is in it, but it's fluoride free. So at least I won't, there's that.
Made in the deep fryers of KFC.
Yeah. Josiah is asking, he says, should Steven buy a Switch? Should I buy a Switch? I know the answer to that.
And what is it?
Actually, I know what I want. I don't know what the good answer is. I know what I want. I want to buy one, but should I? Should I is the question.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thomas is asking, when is Tech Chitchat Show coming to 1440p? When the price of software to stream in 1440p comes way down.
Do you see this little badge right here this morning?
Or we have 100,000 subscribers here. I'll say that.
Yeah.
On the Tech Chitchat Show.
Yeah.
Did I already do this one? I think I did.
Cameron would try it.
Yeah. King's a miss. No. Mario.
All three of us.
Why not?
Maybe in the future we can all have our Switch 2s and play together and do something with it.
We'll just stream the Switch 2 screen while we do Tech Chit Chat in the screen share at 15 frames per second.
All right. And then did we have a second question? Oh yes, the Switch. Was that our second question?
Yeah, I guess my question of the day is, guys, leave your comments. What I think. I want to know people's thoughts on pricing, what they think about the Switch.
Fair price.
If they think the price is too much, what they think it should have been, will they get it? the pricing of games. Leave your comments and stuff on that. Like
the other thing I want to mention, if you guys come across really cool articles or things that you think we should talk about on the show, leave them in the comments of the most recent video, and they will be considered for future episodes. Or you can tweet them at maybe Steven, 8-Bit Warrior.
Yeah.
Because I'll forget to look.
On X, we do have the tech_chitchat as well. So tech_chitchat on X. I also this week, it was recommended to me by Cody, who watches. Hey, Cody, if you're there, saying that we need an email. So this week, I may also put together an email. So you can email us at techchitchat. I'll get that this week as well. So people can.
Well, I think you can email us at, I don't even know what our email is.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Something techchitchat at something.com.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later.
I'm stretching here.
But good to be back.
It's good to be back. That went a lot longer than I expected. So I enjoyed having you along with us, Yoshi. And
hanging out.
Yeah, it's been good. Steven, we'll
and thanks everyone who's joined us today. So thanks guys for joining us, and that's been a lot of fun. Hope to see you again next week.
And you know what? Everyone who's there, thank you very much for all the activity in the chat. It actually makes this a lot easier to do. Rather than me just talking with Steven and that's it.
Yeah. Come bring a cup of coffee. Come join us
a cup of coffee.
in the coffee chat.
Just I was asking next show when. We don't know yet. We have to talk about that.
Yeah, we do.
But hopefully sooner than 2 years.
Yeah.
So cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Have a good Saturday. Take care.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys soon.